Alright guys, today I'll be showing you how to install Roblox. But many of you already know this by the name and title. Obviously I'm joking, but first you want to install Visual Studios 2019. It's free. I'm going to put it in the description. I'll also try to put time codes there for the people who are not beginners so they know where to go to. But then you want to go to create new project after you installed it. You then want to select C#, Windows, and then desktop, and then you want to click this one right here. You then are going to want to name it and whatnot. I would put this on your desktop. I would save it on your desktop because it's automatically going to save to repost or whatever the crap that's called, and it's going to be annoying to find. At least for me, it was. So after that, we're going to go to next or whatever the button was, and then you're going to go to this right here, the toolbox, and then the first thing you want to do is put down some labels. That's where you're going to show this is the D6, this is the D8, D20, whatever dice rolling you want to do. I mean, this actually works for any number generator you want, but just to say, hey, this is what you're rolling. So just click that, drag it in there, and then copy and paste it. Click on it, Control V, then just paste a bunch of them. Then you're going to want to change what they say. After you click on one of them, you just go down to text in the bottom right hand corner is where it should be, and you can change it to whatever name you want to be. I just change all these to D6, D8, D20. And then after that, you're going to want to change the labels below so that they can take the number in, so they can show whatever number you roll. You want to clear the text out of it, and then you want to go up to the top so that you can change it to fixed 3D and change it to true size is false. Next, you just want to copy and paste that 2 more times, or how many other dice you want. If you don't want any more dice, you don't have to copy or paste anything. It just makes it easier since these will have the same settings as the other ones. They'll have different actual names, but the text will be cleared and the settings will be correct. So this is where the actual thing is going to be, the number is going to pop up. I actually changed the name so when you start coding it'll look more right, or you'll know which label is which is important. I mean, they all have different ones, but I just changed it to LBL6, LBL8, and LBL20, which LBL is just short for label. After that, you want to put some buttons in, because those are the things you gotta click. You gotta clickety clank that stuff. So you can put your random into the label, and this is when you're going to start actually coding it. The way you go to the specific code for each button is just by double clicking it. The people who don't know that, if you've never done this before, that's fine. I'm pretty new to coding as well, taking my first class right now. But yeah, you double click on it, and then you want to just start inputting the code that I show right here. Right here, you're just creating a new variable, and then you're basically saying that this is a random number generator. And then when you put it in this next line of code after this one, you want to make sure that the whatever number you want it to go between, like 1 and whatever, that the maximum is 1 more than what it actually is. So if you're rolling a d6 or whatnot, it'd be 1,7. And it wouldn't, instead of being 1,6, because if you did 1,6, then it would go 1 through 5, not 1 through 6. Then after this, you just say where this random number is going to go, where you're like, it goes to label LBL6.text, and then the rest of the stuff that I just put in. If you have any errors at the bottom, it's probably because you didn't either put parentheses or you're not putting a semicolon. But then you can see from here that the first button works, so that's the only line of code I've done for. You can see right there. The rest of the buttons and codes are really easy to do, because all you have to do is just copy and paste it, the code you just did, and then just change a little bit and to say, hey, it's 1 through 9 this time, and the label that you're putting it to is a different one. It'd be LBL8, not LBL6 anymore. And like I said before, you can apply this to any dice that you want. You could do a D4 or whatnot and just create another button and another label, and then just copy and paste this text into it, make sure it goes to the right label, and you have the numbers set correctly for the random number. If you only want the bare minimum, that's all you have to do up to this point, to be honest. But I end up putting pictures over the buttons so that you can see actually what each dice is. And I changed the fonts as well and the size of them as well, and it just looks a lot better. I mean, you don't have to do this by any means, but this is what my other one looks like. That looks a lot better. I'll also show you how to do an exit button as well if you want that sort of thing, which is very simple. If you don't know, I'm just treating this like someone is a complete beginner. Things like the fonts are just on the right side, you know, just say font. I would also organize yours by A through C, that button up there on the bottom right. But I mean, you don't have to. I think it just makes it easier to find the text and the name and stuff like that since it's ordered alphabetically at that point. But yeah, if you want to change all the fonts at the same time, you just hold right and then select all of them at the same time. But on to the picture box, you just go down to toolbox and then you go hit picture box and you throw it in there. I also copy and paste this, so I'll have 3 of them. And the way you do this is very simple. You just go online and download any picture that you want to be in these. After that, you just right click on it and choose image is what you want to hit next, and you want to go to local source, and then you can just go through your files to find whatever image you want to put in there, and then you want to go to zoom is the best way I found how to have it correctly, which I'll show you in a second. But first you want to go to enable and change it to false, so you'll actually be able to click the button behind it. That's the most important thing. After that, you want to go down to size mode, which is what I was just talking about. You want to change it to zoom or whatever setting will best show your image inside the box. I would make sure that you do this for all 3 of them. You gotta change all of them to enabled. And then the size mode, I mean, it just depends on how your image is. You then want to conform the button behind it so that it will, you know, wherever you click on the image, it will hit the button and it will cause the roll. If you want to know the font I used for my other one, it was Old English. Another way you can conform the image is by clicking that button you saw right there on the image, the top right one. You still can see it on the dice I'm moving around right there. There's a little arrow, you can click on that and change it to zoom or however you want it to be. And the way you test, if I'm pretty sure I showed and did it earlier, but if I didn't, my bad. You hit the start green button to, you know, start the program. But here real quick, I'll show you how to do a close button or an exit button if you want to see it. You just end up, you know, you just want to add another button and then you want to go into the code for it, which is very simple code for this. But here I'm just going to change the name to exit, so it's obvious what the button does. And then I double click on it, and the code is just this dot close with parentheses and a semicolon. If your code isn't working or something else is happening or you're just having an issue, please let me know down in the comments and I'll try my best to help you. I could definitely have overlooked something and said something that I forgot to, but I hope I didn't leave out any parts for you guys. But with that, I am out.